SimplySimpleStamping.com. I am so glad you could stop by for a Fancy Folds design team video. Guys, today's card is so much fun. This is what we call a shutter card. It's got a little magic inside. So I've got a belly band on the front. That's going to come off easily. Now, are you ready? Here's the magic. What? Yes, that is just so cool. So yeah, just like a little camera shutter. It's a very fun card to create. Let's get started. So let me share with you the bundle you're going to be using for today's shutter card. I have chosen the Truly Tailored bundle. Great masculine set. I love this matching punch that goes with it. The card stock you're going to need to create today's card, I'm going to be using Night of Navy. And this piece is cut 8.5 by 5.5. And I have that scored at 2 1/8 inch on both sides. So you're going to want to make sure to score that, because that's going to fold in just like so. I've got another piece of Night of Navy. This piece is 3 inches by 5 1/4. 2 pieces here of Very Vanilla, 2 inches by 2 3/4. I also have 2 pieces of Night of Navy that are 2 inches by 2 3/4 of an inch, and I have that scored at 1/2 inch on both of those. Now let's bring in some designer series paper. So this is the True Gentleman designer series paper. I have 2 pieces here that are 2 by 5 3/8 inch. And then this is the belly band. And this piece here is 1.5 inches by 9.5 inches. I did do some scoring on this one as well. It is scored at 2.5 and 2 5/8, 7 and 7 1/8. So that's just going to give my belly band almost just, if you can see there, just a little 1/8 of an inch, little kind of box that's going to go around it. So let's go ahead and get to creating. To begin, I'm going to just adhere down the 2 panels of the designer series paper onto those front flaps. And now we're going to do some stamping with our Very Vanilla. I'm going to begin with the Tranquil Tide ink pad. I'm going to do the To a Classy kind of guy, and we are going to stamp that right in the middle of one of the pieces of Very Vanilla. Now let's work on this second one, and I'm going to stamp Dad in the Tranquil Tide. Now I'm going to bring in the Night of Navy. Let's add just a little bit of navy. And guys, I'm madly in love with this little bow tie. Just too cute. Let's stamp that right underneath. I'm now going to come in with the tailored punch. The classy kind of guy, we are actually not going to punch. Set that off to the side. But for the Dad, let's go ahead and line that up in our punch. Let's go ahead and set these off to the side, because we're now going to work on the actual shutter part of our card, this magic right here. So, all right, it is time to put our card together. I'm going to bring in another punch. I'm going to bring in the triple banner punch. And so what we're going to do with these 2 pieces that are scored here at 1/2 inch, my score line is here on the outside. We are going to put that into the banner punch and punch on both of these. And we're going to have a couple of little triangles left over, and you know what? We're actually going to use those, so hold on to those. Now we can come in with the Truly Tailored punch, and we will put that into our 3 inch by 5 1/4 inch cardstock. I'm pushing it in as far as it'll go, and then I'm just lining it up from side to side, so we can give that a punch. Save this. We're going to use that as well. Hey, let's do a little heat embossing. We're going to have some fun with this one. I'm going to come in with the Wishing You a Dapper Day. I have a Versamark ink pad. Before I start, I'm just going to hit that with my embossing buddy. So if I have any oils on my hands, or if there's any static, it's not going to pick up that embossing powder. We'll ink that up in the Versamark. Let's stamp that down here at the bottom. I will sprinkle that with some Whisper White embossing powder. Now let me move this off to the side. We can heat set this. There we go. That looks so great. I love how that pops off of that navy cardstock. I'm going to bring my card base in now, and that classy kind of guy. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and put snail adhesive onto the back of my sentiment, and I'm going to gently lay this behind, kind of line it up. And what I want to do is adhere this down into the center of my card. I'm kind of looking from side to side. I don't want to press anything down until I'm sure everything is set. Yep, I think I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and give that a press. Oh, look, it's so crooked. Don't worry about it. It's not even going to show because we're going to hide it. So let's now come in with those 2 banner punches. I'm going to give these a fold. I'm going to use the tear and tape, and I'm just placing that right down that little folded area, that little tab. Let's go ahead and peel off our backing. So just like I said before, I don't want to press this down until I'm really sure I have it set. But you can see here's my fold. It's going to line up right along the score line, just to the left or to the right of the score line. And we want this to line up with the actual card. That line that up. Again, not pressing. Let's place our second one. This one will go to the right of the fold. I can kind of eyeball it. Yep, that looks pretty good. Make sure we want to make sure we are to the right or to the left because this needs to close. That looks great. I can see how that is going to close in my shutter. Now let's go ahead and add our top sentiment. Now we're going to need dimensionals. Dimensionals are key with this. I'm going to place a couple down here at the bottom. I'm going to place a couple about right here. I want to kind of avoid this area because remember that shutter is going to go across there. We don't want that. Now for these last 2, this is kind of important. Again, I don't want the shutter to hit this. So I'm going to place the flat end of a dimensional as close to the top as I can. Let's add this one. You could also use the strips of dimensional. That would work as well. Again, let's avoid all of this. All right, we're going to take off our backings. Here we go. Let's fold in our shutters. I can now line up this with that punched area. There we go. Are you ready? Look at that. Isn't that fun? It's like just magic when it opens. All right, we have our card made. Let's create a fun belly band. Remember, we kind of folded this so that this thick card is going to fit great inside the belly band. You can use tear and tape or you can use snail for this. Let's just put some snail right here. Adhere the belly band together. Now, keep in mind, we want this to slide, so don't go and really tighten it down. We will be hiding the seam, so don't worry about that. So there, my belly band is going to be nice and loose, just like we need it. Let's come in with our punched dad that we created. And you remember those scraps? Look what we're gonna do. I'm going to start at the points, and I'm gonna use those banner pieces. Typically we throw these away, but oh my heavens, look what it does. It makes a great border for my punched image. So I'm going to do that on both sides here. Now this one, let's cut it in half from the point. So we're going to cut in half this way. I can now come in, let's add snail, and we're just basically going to make an extender, just like so. Isn't that awesome? All right, let's do this one. Wonderful. Now I could adhere this down, but I wanted to give it a little something. I have got some vanilla baker's twine. And guys, I'm just going to take a couple strands and I'm just going to separate this. I think that's 2, so I'll separate these again. 2 or 3, but I found 2 is plenty. Oh, I'd say I've probably got maybe 8 inches of, or maybe 10 inches of baker's twine. It really doesn't matter. It's all just for fun. Let's add snail down the back of our sentiment. And we're just going to kind of wrap this. Woo, come here, Twine. And we are just going to make some loops here on the back and use that snail to adhere it. So just make some fun little loops. I'm going to take the second piece. We're going to do that same thing. Again, wherever it falls is great. All right. As I said, we can cover up that seam. I'm going to use the points to make sure I've lined it up in my card. And my friends, look at our fabulous shutter card. I hope that you enjoyed today's card. Guys, this is really a simple one to make, but it looks like it was really, really difficult. But that banner punch, oh my heavens, it makes it so easy. I hope you'll give this card a try. Remember, this card can be made with more than just that tailor tag punch. You can do this with circles, with squares, and different things. Use your imagination. Just make sure that the punch that you use is less than 2 inches, because that's the size of the banner that's going to come in and create the shutter. So be sure to get creative with it. I'm telling you, it's a ton of fun. Now listen, if you want to see more information on my card, maybe you missed those measurements, or you want to see some up close photos, be sure to head over to simplysimplestamping.com. Just look for the April 11th, 2018 blog post. I'm going to have everything there for you. And hey, if you'd like to order any of the products that I use, not a problem. I'll have a complete supply list for you. You can just click a pick and order what you need. All right, my friends, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the Fancy Folds Design Team blog hop for April. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you on the next video, my friends. Bye-bye.